Hey guys, it's Aviation. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're taking a look at AzurPoly's brand new Bronco that just released for the sim. And this aircraft available for about £25 in the marketplace. And obviously will hopefully be available on third-party stores soon. If you can't wait and you want to get it from the marketplace, obviously you know that most will have non-military variants on the marketplace. On AzurPoly's website, which I will link you to, there's a weapons pack, which means you can add them back on to the aircraft even if you have the marketplace version. Now, of course, the Bronco is originally developed in the 60s as a specialist counterinsurgency warfare aircraft and forward air control. Now, it could carry external munitions, paratroops and stretchers inside, not many, of course. And I believe they produced 360 of them. Now, of course, twin piston engines on this thing, and they were, if I look at the statistics of the OV-10D here, we have a speed of around 250 knots max with a combat range of 198 nautical miles, ferry range of 1200, up to 30,000 feet. Get off the ground in 740 feet, which is great. 1,000 feet if you want 50-foot clearance. Landing run 740 again with 2,500 to 50 feet, of course. Really impressive performance. Of course, the weaponry was a 120mm cannon. It could carry 4 M60 machine guns, rockets, or dumb bombs, smart bombs, basically anything at the time. Smart bombs, maybe not. Sidewinders it could carry on the wings, and up to 500 pounds of bombs. There's also modifications for recoilless rifles on there as well, self-loading ones. So quite an option. Now, I believe the guys at AzurPoly are in Europe, so they'll have likely had access to the Luftwaffe one with the Belgian Bronco display team, which is registered as GONAA, I believe it is. I know she was in Belgium, or is in Belgium currently, but it was in England for a while. That's an OV-10B. That's 9918. She is available in the liveries. There's a bunch of those here. Let's look at the features we have. So, full modelling to cabin and cockpit. Exterior models for the A and B variants with the sponsons, glass domes, etc. 12 liveries we mentioned. Obviously Cal Fire here, because I love this one. Custom sound set from real Bronco. Custom flight model, fully animated cockpits, all the usual things for the Garrett TP331 engines. With the custom condition of a power implementation, I will show you how that works. Full avionics on custom code. All circuit breakers working. Jet adjustable tanks working and firing weapons. And tire deformation, just pressure and weight. That's quite neat. Vibration loose objects, and options for the stock GNS 430, GTN 650 from TDS and PMS to be used. And a custom electronic flight bag. So let's get in the aircraft and take a look around, shall we? We'll get in here. And as you can see, the bag is up here. We'll just quickly go to open some doors for you. And the engine covers. And the back. Can we change the tyre PSI? Let's drop that down. Let's have really soft tyres and see what happens. Now there's an AzurPoly toy. You can have on the dash, which I'm assuming wobbles around. We'll turn that off. GPS turned on there. On, off. Everything should be good here. Modern landing lights or original ones on there. Let's go outside, shall we? It's a beautiful texturing and modelling. Really stunning. Even nice detail in here on the engines, which appears to be photographic in nature. There's a lot of photo texture on this model. Obviously, I've had access to real ones. You can even have your co-pilot visible in the back, and I have Captain Whiskers, of course, in his seat. Ejection seat for a cat. That would be quite an upset cat if you went out the aircraft with that. Lovely detailing, I have to say. There's the rear space. Not much room for parachuters. Maybe 1 or 2. Maybe 3. Sitting kind of knees up against the chin. But possible. You can maybe get a litter in there. Now, I'm not sure if that's because this is a Luftwaffe version they had access to. It could well be that they've had access to one of those, because that's a typical German Luftwaffe marking format. The 99, the plus, the 32. So it could well be that's a marking from the Belgian display team, Bronco display team model that they copied, which might not belong on other versions. That was a guess. As you can see, these side doors only open so far. That's a real thing. Let's go back inside, shall we? Now these doors, you close these by clicking on this part here. Nice and easy, of course. Oh, hello there. See if the back one is in the same spot. Yes, it is. It's right here. Click the lever to pull it down. Obviously, it's easier than actually clicking on this separately. If you want this open and not to be vibrating in the wind, we'll close this one first. You can, of course, click on the little supporty leggy thing, and it sticks out. Little supporty leggy thing, technical term there for the aircraft. Let's close these. And this. Oh, we didn't look at the tyres, did we? They don't look very deformed. Put that back to 50. Okay, so we have a GPS screen there for us. Fuel filling here. We have weight and balance and things. We can turn the yoke off, the co-pilot, change our GPS system. There is a some throttle access control here with where these are set to. You can click it up to flight idle if you want to. Now we do have a functional autopilot system which the aircraft itself does not have. But if you want or need that ability, it's there. And some flight information. Now, the weapons manager I don't believe is accessible on this version because I'm flying a civilian variant. So there is that. Is that a filter on there? We'll have to take a look at that. I recall seeing it when I last loaded this. It may have changed since installing the weapons manager, so we'll look at that. In fact, well, I wanted to fly the Cal Fire, but I'm sure we can fly a military one just so you can see some guns, right? We can do that. Okay, so we're back here in one of the D models. This is the US Marine Corps one from Desert Storm. And you'll notice we have a weapons manager, which is on this side. It is, of course, dependent on different variants being used and selected. So we have the pylons there. Or some AIM-9s on the wings, why not? Some rocket launchers, and we'll put some machine guns on it as well. Let's load this pig for war with everything. Now I wonder, it is not, unfortunately, the water rudder toggle, but it should be in the manual somewhere. If you're interested in that kind of thing, you can find it pretty quickly. In fact, let me just have a quick check through that now. Is there a weapons section? There is. War emergency power is what fires the weapons, and or pressing this button. Awkward. I might need to have power on. We'll shelve that for the time being. We'll leave the weapons on this thing because we're at max takeoff weight. It'd be fun to fly around with them. So let's quit to where we were before. We can move this around, of course, if you want to different locations. Pull up our checklists, and we'll do our engine starting. So battery 1 and 2, those are down here. They are both in the on position because I've got everything else set apparently. Okay, rudder pedals are adjusted. Fire detection system will claim that's been tested. Where is that? Here. Okay. Radio comm is going to be in the on position. I think we're in the on position. I can never quite tell. With some of these switches and dials, they tend to rotate constantly and never actually make a decision. There we go. That seems to have clicked somewhere. Attitude indicator is caged. This is what happens when I click the wrong mode here. We'll leave it as good. Fuel quantity is... Gauge test is working. Fuel quantity is checked. We'll go through to our starting engine checklist. Parking brake is set, that's here. Propeller left and right, they are clear. Left and right are feathered, they are unfeathered. Okay. These are our condition levels that are to be left where they are here. So, power over to flight idle. Which means we need to bring them up to the top of that arc here, where you'll see things are in a different stepping point. We'll just move these out of the way so you can see. But you'll notice down here, when we're below flight idle, this ground operational mode, we have the ability to go to ground start, flight idle, full reverse with our throttle. This is correct replication of these modes. Now to move this up here, we move this up past that gate to flight idle, and then we have our full actual flight operational range here. So we leave this on, as it says there, flight idle, starter left, so we'll find the starter, which is there. Starting, and these should be in the opposition. And as soon as our RPM gets to the right point, we'll give it some motion lotion. And we have a start. The normal flight there. And RPM stabilize, so propeller left unlock. Now where is that? Did that engine stop functioning? I'm deeply confused. Start right, shall we? Is the RPM moving? There we go. That should give us a good start. But the instrument is not actually moving for us. Interesting. I am quite confused by this. Because everything should be working. Oh, no, there we go. Apparently, having your avionics off stops the sound. Interesting. Because my avionics switch was off on my honeycomb, and I had... Oh, excuse me, let's close this really quick. My avionics were off, and that was killing the instruments from functioning and the engine sound. Because the engines were on, and they're both running. Neither was not running. But that was controlled by the avionics. Interesting. Indeed. Interesting indeed. Let's get that sorted there. So everything else is looking here. Propeller's clear. Unfeathered. That is unfeathered. Everything else isn't ready to go. That's unlocked. We're good there. Generators are there. So generators on. Generators on. Master battery is... Oh, that's our emergency. So it's on. And we'll leave master battery to off for now for emergency. That's where it should be. So taxi checks will be trim, compass, altimeter, IFF, and brakes. We're good to go. Right. I found the standard zoom mode for the cockpit quite close. Almost oppressively so, so we're going to get rid of this for a time being. You can get rid of this by either clicking on the rim of it and or down here on the EFB control. So once our parking brake is released, we're in flight idle, so we're going to push forward on our throttles. There we go. She doesn't have a super amount of power in that initial power application. You have to give it a fair bit of actual throttle here. Turn my head on. There we go. And you'll find our flaps are there. So we'll give it one notch of flaps to take off. We are taking off fully loaded. So we'll taxi down to an intersection for departure here. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, I found it really, really close, so I'm actually going to click the zoom out button just to give myself a bit more kind of situational awareness, a bit more field of view, because I do feel rather limited in this aircraft otherwise, which is weird because the human eye isn't like this. A very narrow feel to it. Now, I would have liked to have flown the Cal Fire one out of Santa Barbara here, but we'll take this military one, no problem. I wonder if that gun's work now. Maybe I actually need to click the actual button, it's not the... Oh well. I'm not particularly asked by that. If you guys want to go and program that feature, you can. Okay, let's get ourselves out here. I love seeing AIM-9s on the side of a prop aircraft. There's something glorious about having AIM-9s on a prop aircraft. Because screw everything else that isn't you. A lot of power needed to move this thing, because she's quite fat when she's fully loaded. You can see my throttles are quite far advanced here. Just to keep us moving on the runway. Or taxiway even. Right. Okay, power's coming up. Takeoff power set. We are rolling, speed's coming up, and little back of the controls. She's a bit of encouragement to this weight, and she'll shoot up when that is hot. They were particularly sticky getting off the ground, these aircraft. Pull that power back a notch. Don't want to overstress the aircraft. Now we're going to head over to Long Park. It's only about 10 minutes away, which should give us a good chance to kick the tyres on this beast. We'll probably drop all our stores before we land. Don't need the hassle. Little trim to neutralise things out for us. Visibility for a forward air control aircraft is of course phenomenal. So in terms of an aircraft to cruise around in, this is definitely not terrible. She's fairly quick, amazing visibility, which is probably why groups like CAL FIRE use some. Most notably for Airbus aircraft. They're going to be using these to observe and basically call the shots when you're doing air attack. When it comes to firefighting, you'll have your air tankers stacked in orbits. The racetracks, they're doing like a holding pattern above the fire or above a set location near the fire, and the Airbus in their aircraft, sometimes King Airs, sometimes things like this, Bronco, will basically be down lower, and they'll direct each aircraft dropping down. So the aircraft will drop down from the bottom racetrack and go on their run, and then when they go off back home to go refill, the aircraft above will drop down and take their place, and then be ready to get called in. When you come back from loading up, you join the top of the stack. That way there is a constant stack of aircraft sitting above the scene for the Airbus to call in, or the Firebus to call in. So, quite useful actually. Little stuttering, but my FPS is quite high. Around 60 at the moment, 50 to 60. I'm seeing like a 10 FPS drop occasionally. Not normal in this area for me to get that, so it might be related to the aircraft. Now, we've got a reasonable kind of cruise setting here. I don't want to get too much power. So, she will happily do an aileron roll. No drama there. Very snappy really for an aircraft like this. See? All around she goes. And very heavy considering that's not bad at all. It's so weird seeing myself in the cockpit. I keep getting blown away by that. And confused and go, oh my god, who's that horrific beast? And then I realise it's me. And I feel worse. So, there is that. Did I want to fly the Luftwaffe version of this in Germany today? Yes, but I've been flying too much in Germany, so I'm trying to avoid that to stop bothering all of you. I've been taking an immersion experience, shall we say, when it comes to my language study. Music, TV, game stuff. It helps, but it does tend to distract you a little bit when you're doing things like this, and I don't want to oversaturate you lot with that for me. So Lompok's just to the side of this mountain range here, and we should be okay. I'm pretty sure I've still got this caged, but I changed the interaction system to fix an issue earlier, and I, for the life of me, do not know how to make it behave itself. And that's apparently caging it, but it doesn't seem to be actually working. Why, I'm not sure, but I'm going to assume that's a hillside. I'm going to assume it's because I'm an idiot. Invariably in flight sim, things not working are because I'm stupid. But for a CAL FIRE aircraft, this will be a normal view for it here, flying these mountains. Texturing and detailing is lovely in this aircraft, and for the price, very, very reasonable with the feature load it comes with. Obviously, tons of features, fantastically enabled. Nice, easy operation of things. We'll turn off some of these things. I honestly don't need the weight, I don't want to lose them, so we'll turn off the rocket pods there. Do the 60s and the AIM-9s. Of course, there's our GPS map screen. Here's our autopilot, so we can actually turn this on. And it will hold our current heading and altitude. And then our aircraft is basically locked in position. Should you want to go to the bathroom, you absolutely can. I want to change my heading because I'm, you know, being lazy. I'm going to fly this Lombok on the autopilot system. It can. You can repair the canopy, of course. Useful feature. I wonder if this does wiggle. Yes, it does. See? Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Oh, here's our gun sight, by the way. There's the Polaroid filter. Let's turn the brightness up, shall we? Oh, that is on. There's our gun sight. Turn you off, I don't care. And we'll turn off the autopilot because we definitely don't need that. Bring this power down. Not too far out now. Again, it's very, very close in. I don't like how close that viewpoint is. The human eye has so much more field of view that it just feels odd to me. Beautiful views over California here. Airfield should not be too far ahead. Certainly a good experience. Let's get around amongst the weeds, shall we, before we arrive at Lombok. Let's do some proper terrain flying. See just how well she fares with that. I'm enjoying this so far. I think they've done a very good job of actually getting this aircraft. There's our extinguishers there. And emergency shut-off valves for the engines. We'll not worry about that yet. Let's get amongst the weeds, shall we? Down we go. Let's see how she handles this. We're on the 200 knot mark right now. Yeah, a little bit of stuttering that's happening more as I get a little closer. Again, I fly this area pretty regularly. This is not usual for this area. Could be connected to the aircraft, but I am seeing generally good FPS rather than a consistent lower number. So it's an intermittent issue or it's something else. I can't consistently prove that is connected. Dig around this ridgeline here. Roll her down here. Nicely done. Okay. Lombok should just be up ahead of us over there. River down below. So where are we looking for this? We'll stay low over these hills. Let's not get too excited, but we'll get her pretty low. If we can see the textured grass in the flight sim, it's close enough. Yeah, it's a forward air control aircraft, ground attack. If it can't get in the weeds, is it really flying? There's a river here, why aren't we running it? Maneuverable as heck at low levels. Really wants to go places. I mustn't grumble at all. She's got very, very good aileron input. That's definitely something I'm noticing here. The aileron input is snappy. It's responsive to big ailerons. It turns when I ask it to. I can imagine at low speed this will be very maneuverable on that big chocolate bar wing. Let's pull ourselves up and away. And her get out of the weeds is also pretty strong too. Rise up here. No drama there. How far away are we? Not very far at all. Right there. Okay. Should be just ahead of us. Just about here. No drama at all. Have a quick look through that EFB again. Of course, our power setting is shown live there for us, and of course we can flick between that. If you don't want to click with them with a mouse button, you can even click between the ground idle and flight idle options there. Okay. Let's leave our power here. Of course, you can reverse the axes in sim. Didn't need the GPU, of course. We can set the dome to glass or opaque, which of course would change that tail dome here. Cool for photographs, right? That's pretty neat. And our chocks, of course, different modes, we need them. And everything else. So I believe I still have this installed. I may not. I'm pretty sure I do, actually. No, it's just choked out and lost what it's trying to do. That's fine. These things happen. Now, where is Lompoc? Right there. In fact, there she is there, down below. Yeah, there's the lights of Lompoc. So we'll get rid of the EFB. With time being mildly of note, I'm going to set us up for a long straight in, rather than a pattern. We know she's pretty maneuverable. In fact, you know what? We'll do the pattern. We'll just do the downwind entry in the pattern. I'd like to see how she behaves low speed with the flaps out and gear down. So we're actually very slow here, so we'll pick some speed up. Nice and easy. Big visibility here. I do like that a lot. Okay, there's our runway. So we're going to let it drift out to the riverside on this one. We'll drop our altitude down a touch. So we'll power back here. We're looking for 150 as we cross the runway. We're about there now. Good. Altitude's dropping to about 1,000 is what we're looking for. Let the nose settle here. Let the speed fall down a touch. Come on, lose some altitude for me, please. Okay, looking good here. She doesn't want to descend as much as I'd like, but she will lose speed. So we're going to throw the gear down here. That knee-knuckle landing gear on the aircraft there. Flaps here, both sides of our tail booms. And now we need some power to hold this thing in the air. Oh yeah, we're starting to stall. Power on. Let's get a little bit faster than this. I wonder what that is. Interesting. I'll take a look at this in Google Maps later. Okay, there's our runway. We'll head past the green over there, and then we'll turn in for our base to final. Flaps second notch. No, that's full, sorry. I will go back to one before full. 3 gear indicators are good. Alright. We'll let ourselves drop as we turn. Oh god. That's my bad. I'm dead. Yeah, I killed myself. That was Not ideal. We'll reset this for the sake of flying this approach. Too slow and too low. GA Killer 101. Well, there we go. We'll just do a quick circle round and we'll be fine. It's gear where it was meant to be. That was my own mistake. It's also partly why I don't have the crash detection on, so when I screw up like that, you guys get to see it. And I'm leaving that in the video because you deserve to see it. So her spin behaviour is brutal. If you get too slow, she will punish you. I'm pretty sure it's a prison down there. It is, in fact. Yes. A little bit too much altitude here, so we'll bring her around. Way too much altitude. We'll put these barn doors down to help slow her in. It's only 100, so we can probably drop the nose quite severely here. We can't. I'll have to circle again. That's fine. Yeah, so obviously I totally did it on purpose so you guys could see its low and slow spin potential and behaviour. As you can see, brutal. Very brutal. Not pleasant at all. Isn't it a good job that I showed you that? Me being such a detailed and focused tester of an aircraft. Not totally a mistake. I can hear it trying to get there again. No stall horn per se, but there's more of, you can hear the aircraft start to shake as it stalls. So that's less a stall horn, more of a oh crap, we're stalling. Which I think if I'd had a stall horn in there with 5 to 10 knots grace, I might have caught that. There we go, let's drop the nose down. We're a bit over tight. This is not remotely even a good pattern, but it's going to do us in time. Let us settle around here. Straighten her onto the heading. Yeah, it's going to require a little bit of nuance here. A little off to the side, a little bit of a slipsy doodle. There we go. Just let her come down. If I actually was even remotely pointing in a straight direction. There we go, just settle her out and touch down. There we go. And we've got some big beautiful beasties to park up next to here. A cat and a Neptune by the look of things. Come on, let's go. Oh, we're in full reverse mode. We've got into ground. Weird. Right, let's go forward, shall we? Let's get off the runway. I'll have to see where I got this Lompoc scenery for, but a bunch of people refueling the Catalina over there. And we've got a French Neptune. Interesting. Huh. Appropriate as both of these work as air attack aircraft these days. Or have. Oh, we're in. It's dropped itself into that mode again there, unfortunately. Cut the engines. So what do I think of this overall? I think it's a fantastically built and designed aircraft that flies very well, has interesting properties to it, and that's a black cat with Royal Navy markings of all things, and a French Neptune. Well made, well designed, good sounds, good handling, cool features and functions. Sidewinders, always popular. Loads of different versions and variants. Well worth a crack. And like I said, you can actually get the weapons pack, the weapon manager, from their website. Link in the description for that. This was purchased with my own pennies, so independent review. I actually quite like this. Thanks for watching. Bye. Ignore the crash. Didn't happen. It was for testing. Go away.